Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hi, it is Stacy. This is Walking in My Shoes, and we are loving my veteran. Of course, I'm running late this morning. Sorry. I'm gonna have some more coffee here, so I wake up, get a little more motivated. Always takes a little bit to get motivated in the morning. Last night, Let's Talk was so good. We had such a good conversation. Um, Today it is Fabulous Friday. It is all about feeling good, getting ourselves motivated, feeling great for the weekend, how we wrapped up the week, what were our accomplishments, what were our goals, what were the things that we did well, what were the things we need to improve on. That's what we do on Fabulous Fridays. So I just want to put that out there. Um, Today we're going to do things a little different. First of all, let me talk about boot camp. Boot camp is 10 slots, I think, from being full. 10. If you have not gotten an email, please, 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 if you've sent one to us, send it to us by messenger because they're going out. The last of the stuff are going out now. We have 10 spaces. And this is a huge class, something we've never undertaken that's been this big. So please, if you have not gotten your boot camp in, please do so now because we are literally at 10 spaces. Today, Fabulous Friday, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're kind of going to go off of what Stephanie talked about letting things go, and we are basically going to call it F It Friday. Ever had that day where you just wake up and you just absolutely don't want to do anything? You want to be in your jammies, you want to feed your kids ramen, you don't want to fix dinner, you just don't really care what is going on in the world, and that's okay. We have to learn that that's okay. It's okay for us just to say, forget this, and I'm going to move forward today. Forget this. This is not important. I'm going to move on today. I might do nothing today. I might stay in my jammies all day. I may not get out of bed today. And you know what? At the end of the day, that is okay. And it is F It Friday today. That's what we're going to talk about. It's all part of being fabulous because you know what? You have to give your soul time to recharge. You have to give your spirit time to recharge. You have to give your body time to recharge. You have to give your mind time to recharge. And we can do that sometimes by just saying, F it, I'm not dealing with that today. That happens and that's okay. You know, there are a few crises that come up. And I'm going to tell you, if somebody has cut their arm and has an arterial bleeds are there that squirt blood all over the wall. If that's happening, you might want to take action. That might be an emergency, but there are a lot of things that we deem an emergency that really aren't. They aren't critical. They're not going to affect our total life if we put it off for 6 hours or one day. So sometimes you just have to be happy in the moment and say, F it, I'm not doing that today. I'm not dealing with that today. I promise you to take an F it day will make you feel better. It is a recharge to your soul. It is a recharge to your mind. See, when we feel like we're giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and people are pulling and taking and pulling and taking and pulling and taking, sometimes we need to put all of us back together. Sometimes we need to be put back together. Sometimes we just need a moment for ourselves to become collectively whole again. And that's what we do when we take that day and we just say, forget it. I'm not going to do anything. That's what we're going to do when we just say, I'm not doing it. It is Fabulous Friday. And sometimes our fabulousness might be to do nothing, to not worry about all the other stuff. You know what? We were having this discussion on Let's Talk last night about going out and eating and doing this and grabbing this and grabbing that. Look, I am happy. I am happy. Good morning, Nakia. I am happy sometimes just to fix a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and call it a day. And that's okay because you know what? My generation grew up on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and it didn't hurt anybody. It didn't hurt his soul to have a little bit of peanut butter and some jelly on a bread, right? It didn't hurt us. We lived. It was okay for us to have cereal at dinner occasionally, and we lived. It was okay not to cook this spectacular meal, and we lived. And that's where I'm going. Sometimes you just need to say, F it. I'm not getting out of my jammies all day. F it. I am not dealing with the outside world today. I'm not cooking dinner today. It is okay. What do you want? Whatever you want, dear. How many times have you asked your veteran or your spouse or your kids, but what do you want for dinner? Oh, I don't care. Whatever you want. Well, you know what? Take Fabulous Fridays sometimes and make it whatever you want. Okay, fix it. Fix it. Have fun with that. It's okay because we have to recharge ourselves. We have to be able to just recharge ourselves. And effort isn't a bad thing. Forget it isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to say, you know what? This is not life changing, life threatening, life altering today, and I'm just not going to deal with that because it lets us recharge our mind. It lets us feel like, what are we feeling fabulous for? What is our Fabulous Friday? You've accomplished so much. So you may not be able to do it on a Friday, but you can do it on a Saturday. You can do it on a Friday when you get home from work. There are times you can just say, I'm done. I need some me time. I need to recharge. And it doesn't have to be just you time. You know, you can have family time. You can have family time. I love nap time at our house. Love it. Okay, when we've done a lot, and especially after taking a nap, Carl will go lay down or he'll be off doing his thing. And Opie, the big boxer, well, he has his own couch, and Milo has his bed. And Mouse, the little boxer, which is not going to stay little for long, always lays on the couch with me. Always. And I may watch TV. I may have the TV on and fall asleep. I may just think there and think. I may listen to music or I may sleep. But that is my moment of effort. That we're just all huddled together and it's my moment of that time. And we need to learn that that time is critical. It is critical in our lives to be able to say, you know what, I have nothing else left to give today. I need to recharge today and the world will go on. The world will go on. Melissa uses Sunday. We all have them. We need to learn to use them. We need to learn to use them. It doesn't kill your child to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, y'all. It doesn't do that. It doesn't hurt them to have one. It doesn't hurt to open a can of soup. You know, back in the day, we had ravioli. I have some in my cabinet now. It doesn't hurt for open a can of ravioli and say, here, baby, eat this. Ramen noodles were like the greatest thing ever. We all learned to live on. We survived, and it's okay. You know, now they make this great little macaroni and cheese that you add the water to, and you put it in the microwave for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So that means I hit the 3 on my microwave, the start button on my microwave, and it automatically does 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I just thought that was kind of cool. And as soon as it comes out, I open the package and I sprinkle the stuff in. And guess what? I have macaroni and cheese, and that's a great dinner. And I didn't have to do anything. And that's all okay. That's all okay. See, that's why sometimes we just have to take those effort days. It doesn't matter. We just have to realize that things don't matter. Stephanie said this the other day. She was talking about sometimes you just have to leave the dishes in the sink. Sometimes you just have to leave the laundry in the washer. It's not good in South Georgia when it's 110 degrees to leave the laundry in the washer overnight or all day because it smells really bad. But it's okay for me to leave it in the dryer. See, it's okay. It's okay to do that. And we have to get in that mindset that it's okay to just say, I'm done and I've had enough. It's okay to just take a deep breath. It's okay. Y'all can please understand. You don't have to answer your phone every time it rings. I think that's amazing. You don't have to answer your phone every time it rings. Now, there are certain people that I worry about, and yes, I do worry about whether or not they're okay. And so, I know, Nakia, it can. And so I sit down and I'll answer it. And sometimes if it's just that they want to talk and it's not anything really, really, really important, I'll tell them, look, I need to go. I got to spend some time. And like, okay, just call me tomorrow. And we all do that. And we're learning those boundaries. See, that's part of your boundary system. Your boundary system is to protect you, to take care of you. So it's okay to not do any of the other stuff, which I find amazingly wonderful. So it's all right. And that's what happens. And so there's times that you don't have to let that in. Because let me tell you something. When the guy would call me about my vehicle warranty is about to expire, or I need can pay my student loans off, I'm like, I've already paid them off. Where have you been? When he calls me and he invades my space, I don't find that very nice. I have that right to choose who invades my space. See, that is what it's like. There's a delete button for a reason. And Carl blocks the number. Okay, I just found that a waste of time because they're going to go to another number anyway. But Carl blocks that number. So you just have those moments that you just don't have to worry about it. If your phone rings, nobody is going to die if you don't answer. I will say this to you again. If this lovely little thing, nobody has ever died from not answering their phone. You might have to call them right back, and it might be an emergency that's going on, and that's okay. And you can call them back if it's an emergency. But I promise you, people don't die from not answering the telemarketer. We don't die from that. We don't die. Again, we don't die by not responding to the Facebook notifications that come up on our phone. Most of us have it set up where you get a notification that pops up on your phone. You're like, oh, well, 16 people posted in Facebook and they responded to this. We don't die if we don't answer that. And so that's really hard for us to understand that sometimes we just have to say, screw this, I'm not dealing with this today. And it's okay. And it's all right. And when we learn to do that, when we learn to have that mentality, you know what? Your day's going to be fabulous. And going into your week can be fabulous. Or ending your week can be fabulous. Because the one thing that happens when you take this time and say, F it, forget it, I'm not dealing with it. When that happens, guess what? We start to recharge. We tend to be angry and resentful and bitter when we are tired. Those are things we learned we talked about a long time ago. When you are physically, emotionally, and mentally tired is when all the negative things come into your life. Or they stay there, because negative comes in all the time. It's how you deal with it. But when you are those things and you're angry and you're bitter, it's because you are spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally tired. And that's what happens. So that's why you take this time to just say, oh, time out. I'm having a fabulous Friday moment, or we talked about a fabulous Friday moment, so I'm going to plan it on Sunday. This is my me day. This is my forget it day. And recharge, because that, when you're tired, you get the negative, the opposite of your good. Right? So if you are angry, typically, if you are carrying anger and resentment, and you're carrying anger, typically your strength is love and happiness. You're aware of that. Bitterness and hate tends to be your strength is love. Anger tends to be your strength is happiness, because when we're tired, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally tired, drained, overwhelmed. It fuels the negativity. So it takes the opposite of what our strengths are and it magnifies them. Yes, you're still going to have things that come into your life that make you angry, but you're going to be able to let them go because you've recharged. If you don't recharge, they only magnify themselves. And that's how it's how it works. It is that way in everything. When you get tired, you think about it, when you're tired, you're more likely to get sick. How many times have you said, you know what? Well, I got a cold and it's because I was really worn down. That is the truth. We used to laugh about it. No, y'all, that is the truth because you tend to get worn down. And for people who have autoimmune diseases and autoimmune disorders, I'm going to tell you right now, when we are tired, they flare. Okay? When we are tired, angry, tired, stressed, they flare and they tend to bring out the worst in them. When we are rested and happy and de-stressed, they tend to kind of subside. And that is true. So that thing alone should tell you when you are worn down and you are overly tired and you are this, it only creates negativity even to your health system in your life. So we have to take these days to say, F it, we're going to have a fabulous day. We're going to have a fabulous day. And you don't realize it. You don't realize. Same thing happens even with arthritis, y'all. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease, and you tend to be more stiff, more sore, more tired. The joints tend to ache way more when you are tired and mentally and physically and emotionally drained. I didn't think it had anything to do with being emotionally drained. It has a lot to do with it. So emotional drain is a huge thing that happens to us. And sometimes we just need to say, F it, I'm not going to deal with anything today, and I'm going to recharge my emotion. I might stay in my jammies, I might read a book, I might do whatever. Some people get excited when they clean. And it's relaxing to them. And just so you know, whoever gets excited when and house cleaning is relaxing, please come to my house and I'll give you plenty of place you can relax. I'm just saying. But some people find that relaxing. And if that's what you find, then do that. It's got to be about you. It's what makes you recharge. We all recharge differently. And I love it. I almost laugh about it now. The more I've learned to understand this, I almost laugh about it. You know, self-help books are great. They're great, just so you know. But you get this self-help book. How do you lose weight? So it says, number one way to lose weight, drink more water. Okay. I'm not doing that. One, and I know it sounds strange, but it physically makes me sick. And two, I think it's a mental thing for me because I kind of got sick from water, so it's kind of a mental thing for me. We want you to eat more roots. Alright, so let me just tell you, I'm not going to eat some of that stuff that's been buried up in the ground. I don't like it. It's not going to happen because, you know, oh, and for those of you who may not remember, the cabbage diet we all went on way back in the day. We ate boiled cabbage and tomatoes and no seasoning and whatever else was in that nasty soup we ate. That was the greatest soup ever, supposedly. And you ate it for like 3 days and you were going to lose weight. No wonder. Right? Because that's what it did. And yeah, it was horrible. So you didn't want to eat, and two, it cleaned out your body part. But you know, the diet books will tell you, oh, don't eat sugar, don't eat potato chips, don't do this, don't eat bread, don't eat carbs. Well, okay, I know that. I know that in a little self-help checkoff. What I want to know is, how do you not crave them? Tell me how to cope with that. How do you cope with those things? That's what I need to know. I don't need you to tell me that a candy bar is fattening because I already know that. I already know that. What I need you to tell me is, how do you deal with it? And so you read these self-help books and they're like, oh, to get right, you need to get some rest time. So you need to meditate or you need to do yoga. Okay, I'm not doing a downward dog. That's not working for me. I have no coordination. I'd be face planted in the floor. Okay, so yoga may not work for me, but self care and finding self time does. You see where I'm going with this? So we read these books that are going to tell us this is how you're going to get better. This is how you're going to relax. This is how you're going to recharge. This is what you're going to do. And they tell you, right? They tell you what you're going to do. Well, you need to do yoga. You need to do meditation. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do that. And it lists things I will never do, ever do. One, coordination is not always my strongest suit. So there's things that I'll never do. I'll never do it. Yeah, and that's not going to help me relax. That's just not going to work for me. So when it comes to your theories behind it, yes, we all need a way to let go. We all need a way to recharge ourselves. We all need a way to reboot ourselves. But it doesn't mean that what works for Melissa is going to work for me. See, we're different. And I know that sounds funny, but we're different. And that doesn't mean what works for Sarah Kim is going to work for me, because we're different. What it means is we know, research knows, people who do this well know that when you recharge yourself spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, you are not as angry and you are happy, and you tend to understand that and you can cope better. We know that. That is proven. But how you do it doesn't have to be the little checkbox. See, that's where we miss, because we're all individuals, and then we fail at it. We fail at it, miserably fail at it, because we don't buy in to whatever they're saying. So we fail at our relaxation, right? I mean, I can remember reading a book and it says, you need to do 7 minutes of deep breathing. Okay, look, I can barely keep up with the 2-minute deep breathing exercise on my iWatch. But you need to do 7 minutes of deep breathing. That's going to make you feel better. Well, I got so focused on 7 minutes of deep breathing that I was way stressed to make sure I was breathing right. And there's nothing worse than the phone telling me, inhale, hold it, exhale. And I'm like, no. I didn't relax during that. I stressed out over that. It was ridiculous. I remember planking, and you do this stuff, and they're like, hold it. You got this. Don't give up or you're going to be a failure. Don't give up. And I'd be felled out face first on the floor. It wasn't relaxing. Now, it may be great for somebody else, but it wasn't relaxing for me. So that's where I'm going. You got to find what works for you. What works for you. I love the beach. There are some people who don't want to go to the beach. They don't want sand on their toes. They don't want sand in their shoes. They don't want sand in their bathing suit. That's just not what they want. I love the beach. I want to go sit there. I want to hear the waves. I want to watch it all happen. That is relaxing to me. That's what works for me. That is how I can recharge myself. But it doesn't mean it works for you. So when we take our forget it days, our forget the rest of the world days, let's recharge for ourselves. Find what works for you. What works for you? And it may not be a whole day. You may find, because some people have kids and we have responsibilities and we have other things. Some people may find, you know what, my effort moment has to be from this time to this time, and this is when I'm going to do this, and I don't care what happens in the rest of the time. I used to tell my kids, is the house on fire? Is somebody dying? Or do they have an ulterior bleed? And if they don't have those, then don't bother to come get me. And I needed that space. And I needed that time. I can remember in EMS, we would work and we'd run call after call after call after call after call. And at the one particular hospital we went to the parking garage roof, one level down from where the helicopters land. And at that place, nobody really kind of parked there, and you could kind of see over everything. And we didn't stay there long, okay? We didn't stay there long. What we did was recharge there. And it might have only been 5 or 6 minutes. It may only be 6 or 7 minutes. It may have been whatever. But that's where we recharged. See, that may be where we recharged. And that's okay. Where do you recharge yourself? Where do you get your balance? Yeah, see, Kim said about her losing weight. She didn't diet, she cut out excess. But it worked for her. Some people it can't work for. Some people, if they eat one bite of chocolate, they're going to eat the whole bag of chocolate. Okay? But you have to do some things for you. So that's what Fabulous Friday is about today. What will take some space for you? What will allow you to find that time to charge and reboot? What will allow you 5 minutes at a time even? What's going to give you that time when you can look at the rest of the world and say, F it, it is about me for the next 2 minutes, 10 minutes, hour, day, whatever works for you, because you can't be stressed out. Stacy said I need to take a whole day, and I'm going to take a whole day, and I can't take a whole day. And now I'm going to be stressed out because I didn't take a whole day, and I'm going to fail at it. Nope, that isn't what I said. What works for you? That's what your Fabulous Friday is about. It's about take that moment and say, you know what? I'm going to make myself carve out some time to make myself recharge and reboot by saying F it to everything else. And you'll find when you do that, your life is so much better. Somebody talked about, I guess it was last night, that their veteran kept like when they would take some time out, even with my kids, that they would take, and they were like, because I think my mom and I laugh about it. The old rule is a man can sit in the house with you all day long and not say one word to you, okay? And not say one word to you. But the minute you get on the telephone with somebody, they have some life-changing epiphany that needs to come out. Okay? I love it, Sarah. They have some life-changing, and they want to talk about some miraculous thing that cannot wait. It is now urgent the minute you get on the telephone. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Men are like that. It's like they have ESP. That's not a veteran thing. That's not a PTSD thing. That's like a man thing. My mom and I laugh about it all the time. We can sit in the house. She could sit in the house with my dad. They couldn't say 3 words to each other. But the minute she picked up the phone, he had something to say to her that was critically important in his mind. And it happens. You got to find that time. You got to find that time where we define what critically important is. My critically important is the house burning down? Is everybody still breathing? And is there an arterial bleed? That's all I cared about. If you had cut your finger and you were bleeding on the floor and a Band-Aid would fix it, you can bleed on the floor till I got done. You'd also clean it up because you weren't smart enough to put something on it. But hey, that was on me as my kids got older. But that's what I'm talking about. Finding that time to recharge, to reboot, to feel better. There are days that I wake up and I'm like, God, I just don't know if I can go on today. And then I sit there and I have my coffee and I do my morning thing. My morning thing that is my thing. And then I'm rebooted and I'm recharged and I'm ready to go on and I'm ready to be like, yep, we got this today. And then there's some days I can do it all day and there's some days I'm like, girl, I gotta have a nap. I'm done. And that's okay too. And there's times he'll ask me, what's for dinner? What do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you feel like cooking? Or what do you want me to cook for you? I don't know. And he's like, is ramen okay? Yep. The other night I had a piece of peanut butter toast. He's like, is that what you're going to have? Yep. Because it didn't matter. I needed some me time. And that's where you're going to recharge. That's how you make your time fabulous. Find time to recharge, because I'm telling you that anger, resentment, bitterness, hate, all of those negative feelings we have, overwhelming, all come from being tired. Whether you're spiritually, emotionally, physically, or mentally tired, they all come from there. We are not designed to be full of negative. Our body does not work under negative. Think about what stress does to a body. Just think about that. Heart attacks, high blood pressure, depression. I mean, it will take autoimmune diseases and flare them up. Ulcers, stomach pain, constipation. The list goes on and on and on and on. And that's all from stress. Our body is not designed to operate in those conditions. So take the time and have your effort moments, so the rest of your week and the rest of your days can be fabulous. Because it's the only way you're going to get rid of the negative. So I'm off from here. I got a few things to do with boot camp coming up. Last call, we have 10 seats left. If you have not signed up for a boot camp, you need to do so, because I am sure those seats will be gone by Monday. 10 seats left. It will be a fabulous, fabulous experience. It will be a very meaningful experience, not just to y'all, but to those of us who are putting behind this. We're sharing our stories. We're not professionals. I'm not going to give you some professional written manuals, views. We're telling you how we did it, how we understand it, how we decided that loving our veteran was more important than anything else, because that's where it comes from. And when you get to that moment, I was empowered and overwhelmed to see 70-some people just be like, I want in, right? I want in. And I'm telling you, the number is just huge. I want in. That is that many people that are committed to loving their veteran. And I think that is so empowering. So all y'all here today, you have that same motivation. You're here because you love your veteran, not because you want to hear me talk. You're here because you love your veteran, and that within itself is a huge success in building and changing your relationship. You change it with yourself. It's going to change with your veteran. And the commitment that you guys bring forward to this is fabulous. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm Stacy. This has been Walking in My Shoes. We are loving my veteran. Have a blessed day. Bye.